It's the I Can't Mom Today podcast with Heather, the new mom, and Vera, the seasoned mom. I Can't Mom Today.
Hi, this is Vera and Heather back again with another episode of I Can't Mom Today podcast. Hi, Vera.
Hello. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. You know, I've had a bananas week, really bananas, because Brad's out of town. And so I have Baker, and it's just, I'm trying to get off my headache medicine because I take it every day, and I know I need to stop. And I am trying CBD, which, you know, I'm trying at low doses. I need to check with you on like what I'm doing. And anyways, and it seems to be okay. Like, it's not great. I'm not like, woo, I'm headache free, but it's less obnoxious. But also, I met with somebody, you know, I'm always intrigued by like the afterlife and mediums and stuff like that. A friend connected me with one of her friends who is this, you know, has this intuitive ability, and you have somewhat of an intuitive, like not the same, intuitive ability, but you are intuitive as well. And so I went and saw her because I was just like, you know, I would love to, she's from Louisiana. I'm like, ooh, love this connection. And she doesn't practice, you know, she doesn't have like a practice, but she just does it, you know, whenever there's a message that she feels compelled to give, and she gives it, I think. But she also, anyways, so I trust her 100% because I know this person, like I have several friends in common with her. And so, you know, because when you go to mediums, you're like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it could be BS.
Yeah. Because there are people out there, and it's sad to say that there are people out there just preying on your
taking advantage of people. Yeah.
And so she had some really interesting messages from my dad, and I was like, okay, cool. And there was time, you know, she's like, I'm not in, you know, I haven't been practicing. I haven't been putting a lot into this gift. So, you know, I am a little rusty, and just, you know, I apologize for that. I was like, don't apologize. If I get something cool, if I don't, great. You know, like I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you. So it was a really good experience. And now I met this person that is really cool, and I want to keep in touch with, and, you know, maybe practice some of my Reiki on her, because I'm also in that point where I'm, you know, just starting out, and well, I'm not starting out. I've been attuned a long time, but I haven't practiced. And so, so it was really cool, but it was very emotional. Like, I had a very emotional day. So I was like stuck in my emotions. So that's draining, but I'm okay now.
Yeah.
And it was good.
But, you know, it's a good draining though.
Yeah. Well, it's just like crying on and off, and like we have some things going on in our family. And so there's just, So that's it. There's my long update.
Thanks.
Would you like to tell us about your week now that I, you know, took up about 60 minutes, and then I was so powerful. I took out. I wanted to tell you something. Bananas. One of the things in there. So I don't know if I'm sure you know this, but spirits, when they first pass, like the easiest thing for them to manipulate is electronics. And you may not believe this, and that's fine. I'm not, you know, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. But the other day, Brad had connected our USB bar, our sound bar, to his phone to listen to music. And then he took it off, and like we couldn't get it connected back to the TV. I'm like, Brad, why'd you have to do that? Blah, blah, blah. And this lady, this person that I spoke with, she's like, did something, you know, is there a place that your husband like listens to music? I'm feeling that he listens to a lot of music and he really enjoys it. And there's a specific place. And I was like, I mean, he listens to the record player in the basement, but, you know, nothing really. And he's like, she's like, did something happen to the music? You know, to the listening device, like something happened. I was like, oh my God, that had to be it. And I was like, Brad, it wasn't you, it's Dad. So I was like, I apologize for blaming it on you. For the life of us, we couldn't figure it out. We're like, why is it not connecting?
Oh yeah. No, that's cool. No, of course I believe in all that stuff, but yeah, not everybody does. A lot of people think it's hogwash, but it's okay.
Or, you know, Satanistic or whatever.
Well, yeah, I don't believe that it's Satanistic at all.
And that's why everybody has it right. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
All right. Yes. Now you have permission.
Now I may speak about myself.
Yes.
No, I mean, really, I don't have much to report except, I found a place. Did I tell you we found a place for Luke to live?
No, I didn't know you were looking for a place for. Oh, I guess it makes sense because he's not in school right now, so he can't live in the dorms.
Well, actually, he has been living in the dorm, even though
Yeah, but I mean, like, but you paid for the year, so.
Yeah, exactly. I paid for the year. So in May, the school year is going to be over, so he has to leave the dorm. And a friend of mine knows somebody, well, and whom I also know, but she's closer with him than I am, who just happened to have a duplex that he wanted to rent out. And so it's perfect. It's small, but it's got everything you need. It's even got a little backyard with a fire pit and little back patio, and it's got washer dryer, and it's perfect and it's safe neighborhood. Because I was worried, because Luke said he wanted a place. I mean, basically, this is exactly what Luke wanted. And I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to afford this, especially in a good neighborhood where he'd be safe, because I was worried about him being in a bad neighborhood. And this is in a good neighborhood and everything. It's close to his work at the karate school. And
man, it's too bad I didn't have a townhouse, my townhouse still.
Oh, I know. He could have rented it. That would have been good too. So it's basically kind of like that, only it's a duplex. So it's like perfect. I mean, it's serious, like one of those things, like sometimes when you put out into the universe, like, this is what I want blah 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 blah, and then it comes to you. I mean, it doesn't happen
really
often.
do get blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, so it's like, it's perfect. So he's going to move in there after the semester is over.
Nice.
So I'm very excited, because I was worried, because he could move back in here and I could just charge him rent. But then there was part of me that's like, I don't know.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah, just because, well, I want him to learn to be on his own. And and then I didn't want to get into the situation where it's like, maybe he'd be like, but Mom, I don't have money right now. Can I have him?
And you're also an empty nester, so embrace that.
Yes, this is true. So, and I'm going to be able to get rid of some of the crap furniture that I've been wanting to get rid of, because he's going to need, like, our old bed that's sitting in Jerry's office. We're going to give that to him. And we have a couple other things that he needs, like a coffee table.
Like an actual mattress?
Yeah. He's going to have and it's like way nicer than my first mattress. Well, first I had a twin bed when I was in college. And the twin bed, I think, I got from somebody else that gave it to me. And then my next bed was a queen size that was $60 at Goodwill.
Oh, I know. Do you think that he's going to put one and one together, that you and Jerry don't just sleep in that bed?
Oh, nah, he doesn't think that happens. And I'm not going to argue.
Okay. All right. Anyways, and we have some great news.
Yes, merch.
Oh yeah, I got my sweatshirt. I washed it. I need to be careful with it though, because it's a press on. The logo obviously is press on. Like, I don't even know how you would be able to get that unless it's embroidery, and that's not happening. We're not that fancy. But I washed it on super hot, and I was like, I just really need to be careful with this.
Yeah, no, I'd wash it in cold.
Yeah, well, you know what? I washed it on extra because the regular cycle doesn't really, I feel like, get my clothes clean. So there we are. Okay.
Oh, speaking of, I haven't had hot water since Saturday. So it's day 5.
Are you jumping in the pool to get clean? Like, how is this happening?
Well, I have a hot tub, cold showers. And then I think tomorrow, because I'd like to take a shower where I can actually, like, shave my legs and do some, just kind of like get really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our hot water blew out Saturday, and the freaking plumber we thought was expensive. The plumber wanted $1,700 to replace the hot water heater. And then we called after Jerry had to, like, basically yell at the people at Lowe's and Home Depot because they would not respond to his phone calls. He's like, it says that you'll install them. Well, finally got them to come out here, $2,800.
Holy bananas.
I know. I'm like, this isn't even a fancy hot water heater. I mean, it's not the kind, like, I remember when we redid the house, it was like that much to get one of those hot water heaters that's constantly replenishing, hot water on demand.
Tankless.
Yeah, tankless. Thank you. No, this is just a regular hot water heater.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Good God. I remember I replaced mine at my old house. It was $250.
Oh, well.
But again, I don't know if it's supply chain or lack of.
I don't know. I think they're just that expensive.
Why did they all of a sudden get that expensive?
I don't know. When did you change your hot water heater at your house? It was like, can it be over a decade ago? Like, inflation is like the highest it's ever been.
I know, but Jesus, it's like, that's like 10 times as much.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I'm almost like, well, maybe we should just go tankless, see how much that is. Of course, that'll probably be like 10 grand to get a new roof for that much.
I would say like 45 or something.
Well,
Anyhow,
yeah, if we're gonna spend 3,000 on a regular one. Anyway,
so
sorry.
go buy some merch. So Vera,
buy merch and you can wash it in cold. That's what brought me to do laundry.
To buy a hot water heater.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. We'll post the link in the show notes.
Yeah. We have lots of other things too. And especially with the springtime and cleaning, I know you and I both love the ultimate cloths. And that's just literally a cloth and you put water and you squeeze it out and you can clean almost anything.
Yes.
It's amazing. I love it.
We'll put a link to that as well.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Like you stainless steel. Oh.
Yes. Stainless. That's my favorite part of it is it really cleans the stainless steel, like gets the fingerprints and stuff off.
And like the shiny one too.
Streaks. Yeah. Yes.
I only have my coffee pot. My coffee maker has the shiny part on it. And I was like, oh, I do have some stainless steel here in my house.
This little teeny tiny little thing of stainless.
It looks great. Like it's just wipe and
it does better than regular cleaners on the stainless.
But I will say on mirrors though, do your mirrors first before anything else. Because I accidentally cleaned off I don't know if it's toothpaste or soap, and I also didn't fold it. I didn't change the side of it. And so my mirror was really streaky, but if I use it first in the mirrors, it's great.
Yes. No, really
and no chemicals. Awesome. That's the best part. Woo-woo.
And no chemicals. Yes. If you're trying to go chemical free, which is good if you're like me and have an autoimmune issue.
Yeah. Or you just don't like the stinky smells. It gets my head hurting with those smells.
Yeah.
So we'll put a link on that in the show notes as well. Any more updates before we dig deep into I don't know. It could be a heavy topic.
Yeah. No, I'm good. We can talk about it.
All right. So our topic today is about half siblings or even step siblings. I think could even wrap into that because so often there is a dynamic where there's a blended family these days, right? Because and we know there are those people that met in kindergarten and got married and are still together 90 years later.
Right.
For the majority, or probably from majority, I don't know what the percentage is now, but used to be like 50% divorce rate.
Yes.
I don't know what that percentage is now, but it could be. So anyways, about half of us are experiencing a blended family in some way. And you experience it, and you have a stepson, and you have Luke has a few half siblings and step siblings. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got it all. Yeah. He's got the whole picnic basket.
He's got the whole shebang. Well, and that was I can only imagine for him, he'd go from my house where he's basically an only child. I mean, I have my stepson, but he's 12 years older. So he was already moved out when me and Jerry got married. But so then he would go from our house, then go to his dad's house where he had two step siblings and a half brother. His half sister was again older and already moved out. So she wasn't really around very much, but so he had this big blended family at his dad's house and just us here. So I can only imagine the difference in dynamics between the two households. Well, I know I've heard some of it, but I saw this on my Facebook, and it's a meme it's a meme. It says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but please don't tell kids with half siblings that they aren't their real siblings. And that really spoke to me because Luke's half siblings, they're two different moms. And I was always, I actually developed a relationship with the other moms, which was great. I love them. I think they're cool as hell. And, we kind of formed a little bit of a bond and decided, look, we're going to always make sure that our kids have a relationship because we believe it's important for them to know that these are your siblings, even if they're just quote unquote half.
Yeah.
So that really spoke to me. And then, I basically said that in my comments or in my notes or whatever, when I posted that on our Facebook group. Some people responded very passionately, maybe not about their own children, but about them being half siblings or step siblings or whatever. And that to them, it was a no-brainer. Like, no, I don't care that the sibling is maybe just a half sibling. They're my sibling, and I love them as much as I would a full sibling. And and they would get upset if somebody said, oh, well, that's not really your sibling, And I can understand that because, well, too, especially if you grew up in the same household, even if it was part-time for Luke, my mother always used to say, you know, siblings know more about the parents than anybody else, which is a little scary. But, you know, they understand, they know because they grew up in the same atmosphere that you can't really describe. You just know because that's what, you know, I mean, with your full sister, like you guys know what your parents were like and what it was like to grow up in your household.
Well, but even
And,
then we still had different experiences.
well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you do to some degree because, you know, with the age difference and everything like that, my sister and I had a different experience as well. But generally speaking, you still like, you know, your parents more than other people do, like more than the outside world because you're in the family bubble. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about too. I mean, like, imagine if for some reason, you know, Brad was married before you and had a child. I mean, wouldn't you communicate to Baker like this is your brother or your sister? And you wouldn't be like, oh, that's your half.
100%. Like I wouldn't care. And this is me saying that I don't like, and I don't have this situation, thankfully, because I think it would be hard because, you know, when you are when you're in a family that's divided and you have this different dynamic, right? Because there's all kinds of things that go into play, you know, like with the personalities and the other person's parent, you know. So if Luke came home and his dad was like, oh, Jerry's a jerk, blah, 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 treat him like trash, kick him, you know, that would be hard to deal with.
Yeah. Oh, and that definitely happens. It was weird when we got official paperwork, Luke's dad and I at one point, and one of the big things was, you know, he's not gonna call anybody else dad. And I was like, okay, what? I was like, sure, fine, whatever. I don't know why that's in the paperwork, and I don't know if that was just like a generic thing or if Luke's dad wanted it in there. I don't know, but there were little things in some of the paperwork that I thought that was kind of just like, why is that even an issue? But I can see now that could become an issue with some people, like you said, where it's like if Luke's dad said, well, treat Jerry like poop, you know, which he never did. But you know, there's all that kind of stuff that can go on, which is just a mess. Or I could have not appreciated the fact, you know, been respectful of Luke's relationship with his half siblings, and you know, so a lot of that stuff can go on, which I just think it makes things so much more difficult. Oh, that's what somebody else responded on our Facebook group. Basically said something along the lines, because I happen to know that she has 2 children from her first marriage and 1 child from her second. And so she's got the half sibling situation. And she posted something along the lines of like, if the other parent is giving the kid a hard time about half siblings or whatever, it may be that the other parent hasn't let go of the relationship, you know? And I can see that too, you know, like they don't respect the fact that the other parent has moved on. And so they take it out on the relationship that the kid may have with their half siblings. Does that make sense?
That would be really hard.
Yes. And it's terrible. I mean, I think it's really important to be very sensitive, you know, just like you don't badmouth, just like, you know, Luke's dad and I've always worked hard not to say anything bad, because I remember, you know, that could be hurtful if your parents aren't together and one parent's talking bad about the other. And it really, it makes you think, well, I'm half them, right? Like, wait a minute. So does that make me a jerk too?
Yeah, I think that I think there is a time and a place for kids to know the truth, and that's not when they're kids. That's not when the kids break, you know, the family breaks up. Like my sister did a really good job with my nephew. Her first husband cheated on her, and that's a lot of what broke in the marriage. There's other things, right? It's not like always like, oh, this one thing is what broke us. Like obviously there are other things that went into it, but like Justin knew, or would say for a long time, like years, he'd be like, it's okay to have a, a girlfriend and a wife. And then we're like, okay. And so she did a really good job of being like, your dad was a turd and cheated on me and, whatever. And she did a really good job with that. And I'm very proud of her for that. Cause I don't know that I would have been that, I would have been the spiteful one, like,
yeah. Well, it's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably why it wasn't brought into my life. I probably, the universe was like, this girl cannot handle this. She can't do it.
Yeah. I know that's like with Jerry and his ex-wife, he was always respectful because he was like, that's the mother of my child.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be respectful of her. And again, too, like once my stepson was older, like you said, it's you kind of like, maybe then you'll go into why things didn't work out, but you don't need to get all, the kid doesn't understand because they're just a kid.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with explaining what, we can in the most delicate way, what went wrong, but not be like, like you said.
Yeah. And it's also being inclusive too. I met a family and they were like, oh yeah, he's our own, he's an only child. And the mom was like, oh, well, I mean, his dad has a daughter too. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would say with Luke. I'd be like, well, he's an only child on this side, but then the other side, but he has a stepbrother, but his stepbrother's 12 years older. So they've never really lived together. We go on vacations and stuff together. And
people were like, shut up. I don't care.
Yeah.
Even though you're trying to get the full breadth of the story, but but it was just the way she said it. I was like, oh, okay. So we don't, what would we not like that he had a daughter first? Or I'm like, let's dig in deep there.
Right. Tell me more. What's the situation here?
I know, but it's just, his dad has other kids, it's how it's presented sometimes that you can read into things. You're like, tell me more.
Right.
Very interesting.
I don't know what goes on in that other house.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, and it may be that the mom of the daughter is really nasty or something. And that's why it's kind of like a point of contingency.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I
you
was
go
going
ahead.
to say, like, no,
go ahead.
Yeah. I think that's like, I'm really grateful that I got along with Lucas's to have siblings, mothers, because if I didn't, I could see how it would be hairy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the lesson really that we need to take away from this is that these are kids and they are at no fault in this. And so while maybe your stepchild or the half sibling is really nasty to you, you just you gotta think who is behind it that is making them think this. And sometimes it's just a misconception, right? I know my old boss's stepdaughter hated her for the longest time because she thought she broke up her dad's previous relationship. And it wasn't anything because other people were telling her this, and it wasn't her mom that was telling, it was just like random other people that were like, oh, they broke up. And so, it's somebody's giving them these ideas. But maybe just try to have a conversation with like, why, is there something that you feel like I did, is there, and don't just like sit them down and grill them. Right. It's like casual conversation. And I think also finding maybe something that they enjoy doing and doing that with them and then bringing it up, slowly. Yeah. Binge.
Have some ice cream, little boy. No.
Oh my God, creep.
Yeah. No, and being respectful of the fact that, like you said, these are kids and they're I don't want to say victims, but they're, victims of the situation. Well, they're, they can't help what happened before or even after, they're just there along for the ride. They don't have much choice.
Yeah.
So being sensitive to that, I think, is really important.
Yeah. And just being the adult in the situation and saying, and maybe trying to patch the bridge between the previous partner and you, I think is
huge.
Something that could be done. And maybe it's not wanted, but just try wiggling it. Just try to be the Rose Island.
Smile and nod.
And bring gifts or treats. Not gifts, but treats. Yeah. So if you have any hints or ideas or anything else that you think that our group could
benefit,
learn from, then we're all open ears. And if you are an expert, we'd love to talk to you. So hit us up at ican'tmomtodaypodcast@gmail.com or all our social media, which is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, dead TikTok. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah. And grab some merch.
Oh yeah. Get a sticker for your car. Oh my, yeah. I can't wait.
Yes. I'm still waiting for mine, and then I will model mine when it comes in the mail. I got a baseball shirt and a sweatshirt and some stickers and a magnet. Although the small magnet, I'll say I think is a little too small. I'm going to order a bigger one for my car because I want to put it on the back of my car. So,
and I was just so frantic that I was like, I've got to get a sweatshirt right now. And I wasn't thinking about anything else. Now I'm like, oh, and we also have a saying that I always say, which is, Mommy's not here right now. Please leave a message.
Oh yes. That's on there too. If you want to order one of those, and they have tote bags too. Their tote bags are cute. Like I'm thinking about ordering one as like a beach bag.
I know I have a cart that's full, but we're leaving town for a week and I don't want it to be delivered while I'm gone. So I have to wait. Even though I want to just be like, oh,
I know. Yes. I need to order a mug too. Yeah. So yes, order some merch.
Yeah. All right. Until next time. Bye. Bye.